Today I want to make it official. I want to announce that I will be hiking the Pacific Crest Trail next year, 2023, on my way to the Triple Crown. So let's talk about it for a minute, now that it's official. I've actually mentioned this a few times in my videos, but it occurred to me that perhaps not everybody watches all the videos, so I should have at least one announcement video. And I'd also like to talk about some of the challenges that I feel like I'll be facing this time around, as opposed to, say, the AT. So let's start by the obvious. The obvious thing is that the PCT is much more exposed. You're above tree line and or in a desert for, what's the desert, like 400 to 600 miles? I don't know, I can't remember, but there is a big section of the southern part of the trail that's desert before you get into the Sierras and up into Oregon. And with that comes a new host of challenges. So not the least of which is exposure to the elements. Sun, wind, sandstorms. I hear there's sandstorms. I mean, these are things to consider. So what have I chosen for gear? What's my preferred time of leaving? Let's go with that one first. I would love to leave on my birthday. I know it'll be a little cool, but I would love to leave again on my birthday, make it tradition, on February 24th. That's my ideal. On the PCT, it's a ballot, so you get, basically they'll accept everybody that applies, but the date that you're told to depart may be an issue. It's easier if you register by yourself. If you register two people and you're looking for a particular date, you may be SOL. I mean, you'll have a much more difficult time. The two of you may be split up on your dates. They try their hardest to avoid it. I have a friend that works at the PCTA, so I've kind of got some of the inside stuff, Oh, don't mind the mess, by the way. I'm preparing for a hike, a shakedown. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The date that you leave. So that's my preferred date to leave. The elements. So I'm definitely bringing an umbrella. There's no question I'm bringing an umbrella, and for obvious reasons: sun protection, rain protection, wind protection. Especially in the southern part, there's hardly any trees, so if I got to go to the little girl's room, I put an umbrella up and squat down behind it, so all these people aren't, checking out my business, so to speak. So there's that. That's going to be, in my opinion, an essential piece of gear for this trip. I have to bring a bear canister at least for 4 sections of the trail, and it's suggested that I possibly would just use a bear canister the entire time. The problem with that I have is, number one, I will be carrying around like 2.5 pounds extra. The lightest bear canister that's acceptable, because you have to go with what they'll accept. The lightest one I could find was 2.55 pounds, and that's the smallest one too. And so even if I go to the biggest one, the smallest one's 2.3 pounds, the biggest one's 2.55. So really, for those like 3 or 4 ounces, I would just get the biggest one I could get. And I definitely, with the size of packs that I have, it's an issue, because I want to strap the bear canister to the top of the pack. This circuit is beautiful for that. It has provisions for that. I can lash it right to the top, no problems. And with the roll top lid, it even accommodates the bear canister a little better. This pack I'm taking out for shakedown this weekend, it has a brain on it. even if I took the brain off, I don't really have any lash points for the canister on top of the pack. However, I think I can loosen the brain off enough so that it sits and floats up about that far off the pack in order so that I can get a canister in underneath it. And then I would just use the two tighteners for the lid to stay on the pack, like where they attach, they can actually be tightened and loosened. And then, of course, they can be tightened and loosened on the other side. So there would actually be 4 lash points if I could get the canister underneath the lid. But that requires I bring the lid. I didn't want to bring the lid. This pack will be an extra 4 ounces with the lid. However, the comfort of this compared to that, it's better. I mean, it's mo better. I'm sorry, it's just a fact. This is a insanely comfortable pack. Don't get me wrong, I love this pack. This will be my go-to pack, and in fact, I may end up bringing it because I'm going to test them both out. But let's just stick with the bear canisters for a minute. I'm going to rent my bear canisters down there because if I don't, then I'll end up having to carry it through the whole trail, and I don't really want to do that. I would just use them when I had to use them. The rest of the time, I would bear hang. I learned the PCT hang. Thank you, you know who you are. I watched her do it time and time again. I went out last trip. I didn't put it in the videos, I don't know why. Maybe I'll do it this time, but I was doing PCT hangs the whole time. I wasn't doing the groceries hang. I think we're gonna have to put the groceries hang away for this trip, sorry. Although I really do like the grocery hang. If you like, it's a very technical hang. I'll show it to you. Sorry, I'm being facetious because a grocery hang is basically I just hang it on a branch of a tree or put it in my tent. You know, that's been a kind of an ongoing joke on the AT. But anyway, so yeah, bear canisters are something to consider. Sticking with the gear part of it, I'm shelter. So it's funny, I took out the Tiger Wall 2. The Tiger Wall, I love this tent, the Tiger Wall 2. It's a two-layer tent. It allows me to just look right up at the stars kind of thing. But here's the thing. I went out with it for a couple days, just a couple days, and I had real clear night skies and everything else, but did I actually sit there and look at the stars? Hell no. No. That whole idea is of, oh, I want to look at the stars. And yeah, you know what? You're hiking, especially on the PCT. I won't be doing anything less, like once I get my trail legs. In order to finish it in time before the winter, I'm going to have to do minimum 23 to 27 miles a day. Yes, it's a lot less elevation. It'll be easy for me to do. I mean, we did it. We did 20 plus miles regularly on the AT. Did it kill me? Yeah, it did. So obviously I'm going to have to get to work on that. I have been training, by the way, very heavily training and trying to put on weight. That's the other thing. I'm trying to put on some weight. When I got back off the AT, I was emaciated. My face was sunken in. I was wrinkly. I was in bad shape, dehydrated. I looked like crap. I still do, but I've put on another 4 pounds. I'd like to put on maybe another 10. Because they'll just come off so quickly anyways on trail. I almost feel like I need a little buffer zone because, you know, I just seemed like towards the end I could not get enough calories into me. So I guess at the onset I'm going to try to just keep up with really eating a lot all the way through so that when it does hit, it doesn't hit so hard. On the AT I actually did try to lose weight. At around the middle part of it, I lost 20 pounds on purpose. But I won't be doing that this time around because I just saw what that did to me. Sun protection umbrella, we talked about that. I'm going to bring lots of sunscreen. The shelter, so let me just finish the shelter real quick. I'm going with the duplex simply because I can still see the stars. I mean, I've got 2 sides wide open. There's really only a strip in the middle above me that I won't see the stars if I want to look at the stars. And if I do want to look at the stars, I may not care to do it in my tent anyway. I may just be outside by a fire or whatever. I can still look at the stars. So I'm bringing the duplex because I'm comfortable with it. I like how quickly it sets up. I like how durable, well, not durable really so much, but how tough the fabric is. So even if we do get some sandstorms and stuff like that, it won't look sandblasted, you know. Also, there is the weight issue. Especially if I do have to bring a bear canister, I'd rather have now a lighter tent, because the Tiger Wall is over 2.2 pounds, whereas the duplex is 15 ounces. So, I mean, these are just things you got to do, shuffle around. So I am taking that tent with me. What else? So resupply intervals. This is why I would go with the biggest bear canister I could get. Resupply intervals are bigger, mo bigger. I keep saying that. I don't know why. They're bigger, so I mean, I'll be doing bigger distances between resupplies. So I'll need more food. Water will be an issue. I'm actually going to bring a C-knock Vecto, I guess it's called. I'm going to bring at least a 2 liter. So in case I need to camel up. That'll give me 4 liters that I can carry at any given time. I'm hoping that's enough. I'm not a big water drinker anyways. Most people say 1 liter per 5 miles of hiking. I think that number is a little conservative, at least for me. I could probably go 7 or 8 miles with 1 liter. I don't sweat hardly at all. Those that have been close to me can attest to it. I don't really have that, I don't know, maybe I got robbed of sweat glands or something, but I don't really sweat much at all. Wind considerations. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring Waldo. I am going to bring I ordered the Visp. I'm going to bring the Visp rain system, which I'll also use as for wind protection. I will bring leggings this time. One particular person will get a chuckle out of that, I'm sure. I will do that. I will also bring, I have to order a 10 degree. I've decided to go with a 10 degree. I've got the 0 degree quilt. I have a 20 and I have a 30, but I don't have a 10. So, and the 0, it's like 29 ounces. I mean, this thing's a beast. It's got like 6 inches of, I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's a great quilt. But I have a feeling it's overkill. I don't want to have to swap quilts out. I'm trying to eliminate the swapping out of gear. Because for me, living in Canada, sending stuff home is expensive, y'all. I mean, it's crazy. And I got to go through hoops to do it. I have to fill out forms, you know, for customs, and sometimes they charge me duty. Why would they charge me duty on my own items? You have to specifically say it's a gift in order to avoid duties and charges. And then again, I'm still looking at a lot of money, over $100 sometimes. And on the AT, I did that like 10 times. I mean, that's $1,000 right there, just sending stuff back and forth. It's crazy. So I'm keeping the quilt, 1 quilt, and it'll be a 10 degree quilt. If I need to add a liner, I'll add a liner. Liners are disposable. You can buy them for $30, $40. They're nothing. Who cares? It's cheaper than sending a liner home for $100 that you paid $30 for. I mean, it just makes no sense. I will bring the same gear, like the same clothing. I will be using an Outdoor Research Echo Sun hoodie. Love that thing. Love it to death. I will be bringing, I'm getting a smaller Enlightened Equipment Apex Torrid jacket. This one's a monster. It's so big on me now. I mean, I can't even, like there's a foot from my belly to the edge of this thing. I did lose some weight. Don't know what color I'll get. Maybe hot pink. I haven't decided yet. Anyways, they have a hot pink. Anyways, so these are things I'll be wearing. I'll also bring merino thermals, Injinji socks, and my regular Darn Toughs, and I always keep a spare of both of those. Merino underwear. I can't find a sport bra to save my life. It's just a curse of mine. They're generally for smaller busted women. You get up into my size, it's difficult to find one. And then it's also difficult to find one that works properly. So bra's a bra, you know, I don't really care out there anyways. What else? Shoes. I am frantically trying to find good shoes. One thing I noticed when I went to my local outfitter here, which I didn't know about, I had no clue, was Solomon Speed Cross. I have tried Solomon's. I tried the other ones though. I forgot the name of them. They were horrible. I did go in the store and try on the Speed Cross. Now apparently we thought we were looking for Roadrunner for Speed Cross. She loves a Speed Cross, but we couldn't find them towards the end. And I don't know if she finished with this. She might have just finished out with that last pair that she had, or maybe she went to the Lone Peak. I can't remember. Anyway, no, I don't think she would have went to the Lone Peak. No, anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. So Speed Cross is a regularly stocked item. In fact, the Speed Cross 6 is out, and it's amazing. It felt so good on my feet. It was a little more money. It was probably similar price to the Olympus 5s that I had by Ultra that I had such a hard time with. Think back to Mount Washington with no sole on the foot of them. So I'm going to try those this week. I'm also going to go and try the Speed Goats by Hoka. So shoes are an issue. I also have with me Dirty Girl gaiters. In the desert, in the sand, I think gaiters are a must. I will be wearing gaiters. I will be wearing my same sunglasses that I wore on the AT. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, resupply points will be longer, so I'm going to have to address the video equipment and the battery. I use a night core. I'm going to continue. I'm going to get another night core, but I might bring the 210s with me. So I had a 20. I don't know if y'all remember from the videos, but I took a little bit of a dip into a river and lost my 20. It kind of went kaput. And so I got 210s just to get me through the hike. And they did. They got me through the hike. The problem though is I noticed the 20 with the video equipment I had would only last me about 4 to 5 days, which was great for the AT. But if I'm going to be doing 7, 8 days or even more out on the PCT, battery power will be an issue. So I've been trying desperately to minimize my video equipment in an effort to keep it lighter, smaller, and more manageable for power. Power is important on trail. It really is. You got your GPS, your Far Out app running all day. I, by the way, switched that to where it's using the GPS only while using. So even if I leave the app open, as soon as I close my phone, it stops tracking GPS, and then it'll just refresh for a second when I go back in. I found that really helped save my battery life on my phone for you hikers that are using Far Out. And I think Far Out's pretty much the standard kind of status quo for out on trail. But yeah, what I might do is bring the 20 and 210s and stick with, and see if I can do it with the same setup I had last year, which was a separate camera. I would use the phone for the quick shots if I had to get something real quick. You know, a remote mic with a dead cat on it, a mini tripod, something like a gorilla pod I can wrap around trees and shit like that, or sorry, stuff like that. Yeah, you know, but try to make it lighter. You know, the thing is, if I'm going to be carrying 40,000 milliamps, and I might try just 30 and see what happens. I don't know. This is a real issue for me, something I'm quite concerned about. So let's just see where that takes us. I'm going to bring all my equipment out on a couple of shakedowns to Algonquin and kind of measure and see just where the power usage is. And what I might do, just because I bring my drone to Algonquin, I'll use a separate, I'll bring another, like an anchor or something, I'll bring a separate pack simply for that, so that way I can isolate what I'm using and still get a good idea of how much power I'll need. I don't mean to go on and on about the power, but I just feel like I want to offer an immersive experience. I was going to go full frame and the whole 9 yards with the Peak Designs clip on and my, you know, the whole thing. But you know, I can already draw a really good image out of my camera or my phone. I did professional photography, so if you let me get to a manual, any kind of manual settings on any device, I can do some pretty good flat composition. I don't want to have to, because I'm video logging, I don't want to have to go into post too much. I did go into post on photos, just because I had it down to an art form in Photoshop. Not so much in Luma, but in Photoshop. That's the other thing. I'll be using a different app this time around. One that indexes to files already on the phone. So I was running out of space all the time on the phone because Photoshop would, like Rush, would import a copy of everything into the project. And what happened very quickly was the phone would fill up because I was having doubles of everything. You know, and I'm not anywhere near somewhere to upload to a cloud or to dump those photos off the phone. And even if I just left the projects in Rush, it would just fill up and fill up and fill up and eventually be done. So I'm going to try either KineMaster or Luma this time around. Luma does the same, it imports them, but it gives you a real easy interface to export the entire project with the original clips. So I am going to try that this week when I go out to Algonquin. Failing that, I go to KineMaster. KineMaster, basically, you just save a tiny, tiny little project file, but you have to have the originals in the same place as they were. So if ever I had to bring footage back in, I would have to put it back into my photos of the phone and then fire up KineMaster, and it would be able to index to those files properly, provided I didn't rename them. And it would have its, you know, points, starting and ending points, and fade outs and transitions and all that stuff would be automatic. I just don't like the way it handles certain aspects. It doesn't tie into external services. I use external services like Artlist, Storyblocks, a bunch of them for music and images and stuff like that. Sounds, mostly sounds. Although I have been recording some of my own recently as well. I won't tell you which one, I'll let you guess, but the Algonquin video I just did, I actually wrote and recorded one of the songs in that video. I'll let you figure it out, which one. I might do a couple more just to sprinkle in every so often on the PCT videos as well. I'm having a lot of fun playing again. I'll try and see if I can get my fill of playing guitar before I go back out. There are guitars for sale, by the way. They're smaller. They're carbon fiber. I forgot the name of them. There's no metal on them anywhere, except probably the strings. And you can get catgut strings that are like a nylon string. It's something to think about. I thought about it, you know, maybe bring it on trail, who knows, but when would I play it? That's the thing. I mean, I get into camp, seriously, especially if I'm camp late at night, which I generally do. I mean, I just go to sleep. I don't really get an opportunity to do much more than eat and then wash myself down and go to sleep. You know, that's been my routine. So again, these are all things you think about when you're going on such a big adventure. I do hope you come along with me. I do hope you let me bore you for a few more months. I guess I'm going to have to switch out the earrings. No more AT earrings or AT bracelet or whatever. That's something, you know, I'll have to get some PCT ones. Maybe I'll find something on the way. Who knows? Maybe Kennedy Meadows has something. But I will buy some memorabilia when I'm there. So do come along for the ride. Please like and subscribe, and let's go get it.